Thank you for tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast. I'm your host, Danny M. And tonight we have special guest, Stars of Serenity, chapter number 39 is in the building. How are you guys doing today?
Good evening.
Good
Hello.
evening. Hello.
Good evening.
And what better place could you be besides here with me? Of course, I'm kidding. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for being on the show. We're going to talk about a very, very serious topic today, and that's domestic violence awareness. And so, you guys, I went to your walk last year, and it was just so beautiful. Everybody was in their purple. And they were super cute. Some people had on their little purple tutus, and it was men and women at this event, and it just felt so heartfelt. Even got some testimonies at that walk. So you guys did an outstanding job. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
Definitely, definitely. All right, and so I'll just go get started because we have a lot of people on the show today. Guys, we can start with Samantha. Tell me, tell the audience and tell me too, who are you and what do you do?
Well, again, good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in tonight with Stars of Serenity, chapter number 39, the Order of Eastern Star. Well, we, under direct orders of H.B. Turner, headed by Grand Master Andre Jones, and also our Grand Matron, Janetta Harmon, who's over a New Life Grand Chapter. That's who we serve under. And we are a local chapter here in Houston, and our mission statement is to serve the community, and one of our serving the communities we have taken on domestic violence as a pursuit to bring awareness, to help in ways that is unthinkable. Tonight, I am Samantha Williams, of course. I am the worthy matron. I also have my worthy patron on tonight, Jason Rucker. I have my community service leader, Zelma Harvey, and I also have my member, Kamisha Brinson, with us tonight. We have other members who is not here to join with us. I hope they tuning in, but that's our panel tonight, and we here to ask any questions and bring insight on domestic violence. So thank you for having us, Danielle.
Definitely love the intro, man. You guys are doing it. All right, Samantha. Anyway, okay. So, guys, as I mentioned earlier, this is the second annual Walk for Domestic Violence, and this event is going to be on next Saturday, correct?
Yes, it's going to be October 16th, next Saturday at Herman Park in the same location. Come out, come join us. Have your tutu on, men and women there. It will be a testimony time at the end. We also will be serving a light lunch. It's free. We asking that if you want to do something, bring canned goods, because we like to donate those to the local food
Charity.
banks and charity
Right.
cases. Like I got stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, food banks and charity.
It's Friday. Listen, I'm just glad y'all are here. Okay. And so that's amazing, guys. So you hear how you guys can participate. Make sure you bring those canned goods. And if you have any questions, just make sure you go to their Facebook page. You'll see it streaming down below. Okay. Just to DM and ask them the questions. So it's going to be on October the 16th. All right. So that's next Saturday, guys. Mark it on your calendars. So let's get right deep and heavy into this. Domestic violence is a very hard topic to talk about with a lot of audiences. A lot of people have been affected by it, both men and women. And there's 1 in 7 women, and I think 1 in 18 men who experience stalking, victimization, things of that nature. I think everybody's had a stalker in their life at least once, right? What about you, Mr. Rucker? Have you had a stalker?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh man. All right, we're just gonna leave
Yes,
that
ma'am.
there. That's a segment for another day, another
Yeah.
time. All right, but so a lot of people have been victimized on both sides of the fence, and so it's left a lot of people fearful. There's a lot of people who are victims of domestic violence who they can't have normal relationships, meaning friendships, intimate relationships, and things of that nature. So you definitely have to be very empathetic and compassionate for those people who have been true victims of domestic violence. So, what advice do you guys have to people who are victims of this horrific situation? And Kanisha, you can go first if you have something.
The first thing that I want to say to victims is to speak up, to share your story, share with someone. Um, if you have someone that you can trust in your life, you share with them or you seek out help. You seek out other people who can help assist or guide you along this journey, because you're not alone. You're not the only one. It's many people that have experienced it, whether firsthand from a relationship, or their children, people who were a child of a domestic violence relationship, who can help. So just speak up, say something, seek out help.
Definitely. Zelma, do you have anything to add to that?
I would say that not only reach out to people that you know, but sometimes you'll get more help from strangers. Try to find the organizations that are designed to help you. You know, sometimes you reach out, but it's not an organization that's used to dealing with what you have going on. So that's very important too, is to kind of get in contact with who you need help from. Like, if you're trying to get out of a domestic violence situation, you can't go to a food pantry and expect to get help. So kind of be mindful of that, to start looking into when you're getting ready to make your decision, you're getting ready to leave, look into where you need to go. What's your next step? Um, what would be more impactful for your life and for you to have a way out and be able to stay out.
Definitely. I 100% agree with that. Mr. Rucker, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, most definitely. I started off with actually starting off with speaking and telling someone, and also seeking professional help. What I also want to add to it is more along of love yourself more to want to do better for yourself. I know that's kind of a tough situation when you're in a situation where love is supposed to be the balance of this particular relationship, but some way, somehow, we have to look deep down in ourselves and pull ourselves up out of this particular rut that caused this particular cancer, understanding and recognizing that abuse of any kind is unacceptable, of any kind. There are 9 types that, at the last seminar, I kind of spoke on the 9 types of abuses. So if you recognize any of the particular types of abuses, then you should be aware of where we are going with this particular relationship. I also want to add, recognizing what toxic is. You can come up in a relationship with, just say particular, a broken home, or a relationship where mom kind of tend to lean more toward the son, when the son didn't have a father figure or things of that nature. So that particular young man does not really and truly know how to be a young man until he started experiencing young man things for himself. So recognizing that love is an action. It has particular benefits that comes with it, but abuse is not love. So if we're able to recognize what is toxic, meaning that the screaming and hollering, the tempered situations, then life will definitely be a lot sweeter.
Definitely. All right, and Samantha, bringing it back to you full circle. What's your take on it?
Well, everybody has great points, but I actually want to just elaborate on Brother Rucker's point of view, because growing up, a lot of people don't even know they think toxic is normal. So, getting an understanding, gaining an understanding, like he was saying about being in a toxic situation. When you grown, you made more of aware, and so I'm definitely the belief of counseling. First, recognizing that it's a problem, having counseling, but sometimes coming out of a domestic violence situation, you don't have the leverage to just leave your house and go to counseling. So it's a gray area of escape. So you're going to have to connect with an organization, like Harvey was saying, to help provide those next steps for you, so you can get away and get healthy. So yeah, like for myself, being a domestic violence survivor, I didn't have a way out. I ran out. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have no one to connect with until I got out. So it's just a real survival. Well, that's when they say I have survived. Everyone got a different story. I come from a home that seen domestic violence. I thought that domestic violence, that was love, what I seen. and it was nowhere near. So when I started having my own relationships, I came in unhealthy. And I started performing all those unhealthy things until it dawned on me that I had a problem. So everybody has a story. So I just really in the belief of getting professional help, linking up with an organization, and getting your next steps.
Ooh, definitely. And one thing I think people leave out when we think about domestic violence, we always think physical, but it's also very mental. You know, a lot of times people are able to control us because of the seeds that they planted, the toxic seeds they planted inside of our minds. So they plant toxic seeds of fear. You know, they plant toxic seeds of insecurity. You know, they make you insecure about how you look, the clothes that you wear, the friends that you have, the company that you keep, and they try to isolate. Right? We all know those are the steps to leading up to the domestic violence, the physical violence that follows the mental abuse. So anytime, you know, you catch someone trying to manipulate or, you know, lower your frequency or lower the value of who you are and try to make you accept that lower version of self, then you should see that as a major red flag. And you should start separating yourself from those individuals that may be, you know, emitting that type of energy your way. Because one thing about it, when someone really loves you, they truly care about you, they're always going to uplift you. They're always going to make you feel like the most valuable person in the world. And they're always going to lead towards the side of protecting versus hurting, right? So a lot of people, they misconstrue the fact of, oh my God, he's so jealous. He's just always, or she's so jealous. She's always worried about who I'm talking to or where I'm going. Be careful with that because it may be cute in the beginning and it can
Right.
land you, you know, in the hospital or 6 feet under, unfortunately. So those are things for people to really consider, guys. All right, so enough of that. So according to Very Well Mind, the general consensus seems to be that alcohol and drugs may be like a catalyst to these domestic violence situations. But we don't know yet because there's not hardcore proof that this is really what's causing the behavior. So this is a question that I have for you guys today. Do you believe that mental health issues and infidelity contribute to domestic violence in addition to the alcohol and drug use? Whoever wants to go first.
Mental health is a big one. Yes, yes, yes. If someone is not healthy mentally, how can they have a healthy relationship? The need to go out and have a better mindset, to have a healthier mindset, a healthier life. It will show up in your home. It will show up in your job. It'll show up in your friendship, your relationship. It show up in so many aspects of life that is so important for people to be healthy mentally. Your mental have to be there. So I believe that the mental health is, yes, a big part of it. Infidelity, definitely. But I would say that mental health is a big part of domestic violence.
And I would like to add that men just my opinion, mental health drives the behavior. The mental period drives the behavior, because we're not even going to put the health part on it because that comes from the media and statistics and things of that nature. But mental, having a mindset to do a thing, drives the behavior, and it drives the alcohol. And I believe the alcohol and drug abuse is nothing but a coping mechanism to control the behavior, because if you know you out of control on a thing, right? You know that that you abuser, or you volunteering, you know, because it's three types. Is a victim, then sometimes the victim becomes the volunteer, right? And then it becomes, sometimes it turns, that victim, that volunteer also turns into the abuser. That's being like, because of behavior you have seen and behaviors you endure, now you acting it out. So I believe that mental drives it all, the drives the behavior, and the substance abuse and the alcohol is just coping with a real live issue that you need to be seeking professional help on.
Very good point. Very good point. Mr. Rucker, do you want to add to that? Did you hear the question
Yes, I
original?
did, and
Okay.
to hear these ladies expound on that, no, not at this time. I mean, they're tearing it up. You see,
All right, we have Tyra in the audience. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video, please. She says, if I loved myself, I wouldn't have rejected the treatment that was less than I deserved. And she also said earlier to your comment, Samantha, that I agree. I had a healthier mindset. I wouldn't have ended up if I had a healthier mindset, I wouldn't have ended up in a toxic relationship.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely starts with the person, with self. And if we're not strong enough, if we don't love ourselves enough, then we'll be depending on somebody, what someone else equates us to be. You're never supposed to value yourself based on how somebody else views you, because you don't even know how they view themselves. And I think that's something that we forget about.
Right. And I believe that comes from low self-esteem. That comes from it comes from a lot. It comes from low self-esteem. It comes from belittling people being dismissive, not giving you a value in your home, giving you a place to speak freely. I'm like, my children, I give them a place to speak freely. You know what I'm saying? It's a healthy place, providing a healthy home to deal with hard conversations, to deal with necessary conversations. Because if you don't know how to train up in your home on how to deal with necessary conversations, as like this one, a domestic violence, and telling my son this is not okay, telling my daughter you should not be accepting this, or telling my son you should not be accepting this, because domestic violence go both ways and not just one gender, right? So dealing with that and having those necessary conversations, you have to pour into your loved ones and give them a place to speak and let them know that their thoughts and opinions are valued.
Definitely. Oh my goodness, that's so spot on. Zelma, did you want to add to that?
It had faded out. What question are we on?
Sure. So I was asking, we're on question 4. Do you believe that mental health issues and infidelity contribute to domestic violence in addition to alcohol and drug abuse?
Yes, I do. We took some domestic violence training, so we learned the different types of domestic violence and what is the catalyst and what is the cause. And alcohol and drugs played a part in it, but it's just a part of the circle. Like majority of the time, it's a generational thing. I mean, if you've seen it at home growing up, you think it's normal. You don't know any better. So even when you start, I mean, a lot of people start with the alcohol and the drugs because they know something is not right, but they don't know how to fill the void because domestic violence trickle down to the kids. So unfortunately, we're creating a whole community of people that don't know any better. They think it's okay to argue and fuss and complain and try to control people. They think it's love. That's the only love that they've been introduced to. They mimicking what they see, and all this plays a part in it. So when you're not happy and your spirit is seeking something, that's where the alcohol and the drugs come in. That's where the infidelity come in, because you don't understand that you can get everything you need from the one person that's for you. You don't have to keep reaching out. But when you have a disconnect, this person do something you don't like. Okay, I'm gonna leave that person. I'm gonna go talk to this person. This person said a couple of things you don't like. You're gonna go talk to that person. Next thing you know, you got an entanglement, and that also causes stress, and it causes you to act out in different ways. Stress is a big part of domestic violence. I mean, a lot of people don't understand, but when you worrying about bills and worrying about this and worrying about that, and then you already unstable, that's a powder keg. You just may as well just light the dynamite, because it could be like a trickle down thing, and then again you go back to the drugs and the alcohol to try to soothe what you got going on, spending money that you don't have to support a habit that you don't need. So it's definitely a cycle.
A vicious cycle, definitely.
Yes.
So with that being said, now the walk is coming up next Saturday. Why is this walk important to you guys, and what do you hope that the participants will gain from it?
Well, I'll be trying to give them a chance to talk.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna call on anybody. Whoever wants to answer that.
Brother Rucker.
I would just say awareness, for starters. Recognizing that domestic violence is a serious situation. Like Sister Williams stated earlier, in regards to this goes both ways, both genders, male and female. So no one is excluded from it. So if we're definitely able to raise awareness to this particular situation we can do.
He kind of faded out. But just to piggyback on what Brother Rucker was saying, just awareness. And also, for me, being a survivor, it was a silent killer. It was a silent killer growing up. It's a silent killer now. You don't know that your neighbor is going through this. So bringing it to the street, bringing it out in public, I'm there for it. I'm love shouldn't hurt. Love shouldn't hurt. Like, I'm there for it because it needs to not be silent anymore. It is real. It's happening. Our children, we losing our children. Like Sister Harvey saying, it's a generational thing, a generational behavior. That all that needs to stop. Generational curses need to stop. We need to bring awareness to the community, not just our Black and brown sisters. I'm talking about Caucasian. I'm talking about Hispanics. I'm talking about everyone who are dealing with it currently, who have dealt with it, and who have lost their lives to it. I have so many Eastern Star sisters who have lost their lives. I'm sitting in the same meeting with these ladies and don't even know what they're going through. I was in the same meeting. They didn't know I was going through it. It's just the silent and bring it out in public. That's for me. That's why the domestic violence walk is in place.
Definitely. Kanisha, did you want to say something?
Yes, I would hope that people walk away feeling heard and cared about. When I was a kid, I didn't see domestic violence walks. I didn't hear many people speak about it, not at school, not in the community. So it's really important to me now that I have a child, that I go out and make this happen, that I pour into the youth, that I pour into other young women, and just let them know, like Samantha said, love shouldn't hurt. That's the one thing that I hope that everybody walk away knowing: love shouldn't hurt. And if you need somebody, Stars of Serenity, we're here for you.
Awesome. Thank you guys for that. So what are some ways that people can support your chapter?
You can come out to the walk. You can donate. We have a cash app. We're also taking donations as far as like perishable, canned goods. We also have an event planned for November for Take It to the Street. It's a homeless outreach program. So we accepting donations for that. It's many ways to help or just be helpful. Even if you don't come out to the walk, start paying attention to your friends and your neighbors. Be involved. Don't just think something. If your spirit is telling you that something is not right with this person or your friend or your family member or your church member, then it's probably true. You need to check into what's going on. Even if you ask them, ask them. If you ask them one time and they say no, ask them again. If you see something going on, be persistent. Let them know that you really care. That it's not just I'm just asking because I'm just asking. Be involved with your community. That way you'll be able to be able to understand what's going on. Be present, be prevalent. We want you to interact with Stars of Serenity, but it's a lot of other organizations out there too that you can support. Just try to be community minded. It don't have to be it don't have to be what I want to support, but you just need to support something. Do something. Do some of your spirit that brings out the spirit of togetherness, family, understanding. That'll help you get out of a situation when you realize there's people out there that really care about other people that they don't even know, that they genuinely are concerned. That'll be a sign to say, well, hey, they helping a stranger, they might help me.
That's right. That's right. I think once society really wakes up, and if you guys want to support Stars of Serenity Chapter 39, there's a cash app there below. I think people need to stop being afraid of getting into other people's business, because we're big on that. Oh, it's not my business. I'm not. Look, yeah, he wrong, she wrong, but got nothing to do with me. It's only not doing it to me, hitting me upside. But not to joke about it, but to be serious, we do have to stop with that mentality. Maybe you don't need to approach these people head on, but when you can tell when your homeboy or your homegirl or your coworker shows up to work with a black eye. I've seen this in real life. You know what I mean? And it should be within you to be able to ask somebody, hey, take them to the side and ask them what's going on. Is something you want to talk about? And don't just do it one time. Maybe follow up that next week and say, hey, I was just checking on you. I did notice that you had a bit of a black eye. Like, are you okay? Are you good? Sometimes people are waiting on somebody to ask them what's wrong, right? But if you never ask, then they'll be living in this hell quietly, and they won't
Yeah.
have anybody to turn to.
For Danielle, to your point, how I received my help, a lady slid me a note with her phone number. She didn't even say anything. Sometimes it's not even about, the talk. You can see something is wrong physically. And sometimes it's not even physical, it's the mental. And you can see that person not their selves today. Or they haven't been acting right. They've been showing up late. Just they not themselves. This lady slid me her phone number, and to this day I still seek counseling and guidance from her, because when you start working on yourself, that's not a one-time thing. That's a consistent thing that you will need to do, because that's trauma. That's childhood trauma, adult trauma. So as you continue working on self with domestic violence and the role you played in it, the role you accepted it, that's continued counseling. That's continued helping on yourself. So I encourage, if you know someone, if you're not even saying a word to them, slip them your phone number, slip them a counsel number, slip them a shelter number, slip them something, pass the word around. Because like everyone's saying on this line, in our households, everything is, you stay, whatever goes on in this house stays in my house. That don't work no more. That don't work no more, because we losing family members and friends and loved ones. So yeah, pass the message. Get some cards made. You see a woman in distress, pass the card out.
You'd
Get
be
them some
surprised
help.
how far they can go. And I was just reading an article yesterday about this lady called Body by Cookie, I think, and she's on YouTube. Sorry, 3-year-old having a breakdown. But anyway, she went missing 3 weeks ago. She was claiming that her family, like her mom and dad, were, being aggressive with her, being violent with her. And this is a grown lady that happens to just still be living at home. She's an influencer, YouTube influencer, and that's scary because a lot of people will be like, "Oh, that's your mom and dad, girl, you fine, ain't nothing to worry about." But when you go missing, that's an issue. So for people who may think that their issues are not big enough, to tell somebody, or maybe I'm tripping, don't second guess yourself. If you know you're in a situation that makes you feel unsafe, then that's a problem, clearly, and you need to get to a safe place. Tyra says that that contributes to the problem when you don't take the time to get in their business. It was because someone got in my business that I got out. So Tyra, she's a survivor, So thank God somebody got in your business.
Yeah.
We do have to start thinking like a community, and less of individualistic, because we kind of get lost in that, and that's how we lose so many valuable people in society, is because we just want to mind our business at the wrong time. When it's time for you to
Right.
mind your business, you don't want to mind your business. Oh, go ahead, Zon. So, I was about to get on a tangent.
And I want to add to that, when you get into people's business, be tactful, be concerned. Don't do it in front of everybody. Pull a person to the side. They already have a lot going on. I mean, I know they might get mad, they might get angry, but just be persistent. Say, hey, I'm not asking because I want to spread your business. I'm asking because I'm concerned. I want to know what's going on with you. A lot of this leads to suicide too, because they feel helpless.
Mm-hmm.
In my lifetime, I've dealt with all of it. I've had a male classmate to be killed by domestic violence. I had another classmate to commit suicide that I had just spoke with before we left school. So, I was just like, why he didn't say something? But then I thought about why I didn't say something. I know he didn't look quite himself that day, and I just was like, oh, I'm gonna go by his house and we're gonna talk about it after school. I didn't get that after school. By the time I got home after school, he was gone, So just be persistent. I mean, they've been going through years of abuse. They're not gonna just give up their story or give up the ghost as soon as you ask them,
Yeah,
especially
that
if they
makes
know
perfect
you
sense.
in that capacity.
Yeah, especially if they don't feel safe enough to do it either. A lot of times, like we said at the beginning of the show, a lot of people are mentally abused. That's the reason why these people can still physically abuse them, because they've gotten into their heads.
Yeah.
So you just got to understand, it's going to take you some time to get to a level where they can even trust you and feel safe enough to share that kind of information with you. But guys, this was a great topic, great show. You guys had amazing answers, and I'm grateful to have the Stars of Serenity chapter number 9, Mr. Ruckus, on this show today, dropping all these golden gems and nuggets. Thank you guys so much. But before I let you guys go, please shout out the social media handles that you guys want people to follow you on or subscribe to, so that we can support you as well.
Absolutely. And I just want to add one more thing. I know we talking about the victim side, but like Brother Rucker know a lot of men. And if you know if men or women who's are the abuser, pull them to the side too and let them know, hey, that's not cool. You know, go get you some help, because all they do is the one he abuse that person, and that person, then become more and more victims. So even if you know an abuser, pull that one by the coattail too and let them know that they're not right and get some help. Go both ways. That's it. That's
Amen.
it for me tonight.
Kanisha, you have any final words tonight?
Um, I would just like to encourage sisters to be sisterly. Just like Sister Zelma said, when you pull someone to the side, be sisterly, be kind. Reach down into your spirit and really pour into someone else. For my sisters who are not experiencing this, or you maybe you've never experienced this, we still would like you to come out and support others. We need all the support and encouragement that we can get for this walk. We're excited about it. Tell somebody else, share. Tell somebody else. And of course, I know your question was, how can they follow us? You can follow us on Facebook at Stars of Serenity, number 39. I wanted to get back to that question as well, but just share. We would like to see you out, and we're excited about this.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Mr. Rucker?
These these ladies spoke so well. I'm over here just from ear to ear. It seems like every particular little area there's no particular gray area. I know Sister Williams spoke on a gray area in this particular matter, but this conversation, there was no gray area whatsoever. Everything was actually covered. I'm proud of how these sisters spoke, so everything that they stated as far as being compassionate, having tactful skills when you pull the young lady or the young man over to the side to go about addressing whatever the particular issue is. And everything they discussed and covered tonight was exceptional. So that's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, guys, you heard it right here on the Sisters Talk podcast. We covered the topic of domestic violence. We had asked some heavy, loaded questions about it, some of the behaviors, characteristics, and solutions, ways to get out of being in a relationship with someone who may be violent towards you. There's nothing to be embarrassed by. If you ever need to reach out to me, I am also a relationship coach. Just find me, Danielle Magoo, on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram as well. You can follow me on sisters_talk. And it's not sisters, it's sisters. It's the ghetto version. SISTAS_TALK. And drop me an inbox. Everything's confidential. I just want people to start feeling more comfortable with speaking their truth. And don't carry that burden on you, because there's too many people in the village to help you for you not to reach out for help. And that's how I'm going to end the show, guys. I want to thank you guys again for being on the show tonight. For everybody that's tuning in or who will tune in, we want to thank you so much for tuning in, being a subscriber, liking and sharing and commenting on these type of topics. It's very hard. A lot of people don't like to talk about it, but I'm thankful that these guys were brave enough to talk about it tonight. And as always, you guys have a blessed Friday night, and I'll see you guys next month. I ain't doing no more shows. Next Sunday, we're gonna air the show that I did with Raw Tape, and we were talking about censorship. So you guys definitely want to tune into that. I'm taking that bad boy to Patreon. I ain't going back on YouTube. Y'all be tripping, and I'm live streaming to y'all right now. You bet not take this video down. Now, the following week, I'm gonna be showing y'all a clip from this segment, as well as another segment that I did on last week. So you guys will be loaded up for the month of October. You guys stay safe, be blessed, and until next time, the next live stream is in November. I'm out.
Thank
Bye.
you.